And knowledge by default has to lead to those good characteristics such as khashya, having true fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. إِنَّمَا يَخْشَى اللَّهَ مِنْ عِبَادِهِ الْعُلَمَاء. The ones who truly have khashya and fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are the scholars. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said the ulama. Why? Because they truly know more about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the more we know about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the more it must have an effect on our actions. So they came once to Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal rahimahullah, and I think they were mentioning Ibrahim ibn Adham, I want to say. So they were mentioning him, and they were saying that you, Imam Ahmad, are more knowledgeable than him. You are a greater scholar, you know more hadith, you have more information, you have more knowledge, and so on. He said, it doesn't matter, he already has the fruits of knowledge. It doesn't matter because in him we already see the effects of knowledge. Means what? Knowledge in and of itself is not necessarily of any benefit. Memorize 1,000,000 hadith, memorize all the verses of the Quran, have a bunch of information, memorize all the fatwa. In the end, it could be a cause for you to go to hellfire. You understand? So the knowledge in and of itself is not necessarily going to benefit you unless it changes the way you act. So he's saying that this man you're talking about, we see him to be a pious man. We see him to be a God-fearing man. We see him to be a man who is worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and doing all the good, and that was the whole purpose of seeking knowledge. You understand? So we have to keep this always as our goal, that when we are seeking knowledge, it's not to be able to say, now I have some kind of title with my name. Sheikh, Allama, Mufti, Doctor, whatever it is. No, because these kind of sciences that we want to study, when we are talking about Islamic sciences and so on, it's not the kind of sciences that we want to just go and get a paycheck with, and we want to feed our family with the way we would engineering or medicine or any other kind of knowledge. No, this is the kind of knowledge that we want to save ourselves and our families from the hellfire. So this should be our understanding, that when we seek this knowledge, it must be practice. So step 1, to learn. Step 2, to act upon that knowledge. Step 3, what's step 3? Huh? To call people and invite people to what you have. To teach them, to advise them, to inform them about that knowledge. Everything in this life has zakah that must be paid. So wealth has its zakah, knowledge has zakah too. So you will find some people who had knowledge, they will say, I forgot some of the knowledge because I haven't taught it to anyone for a long time. If you don't use that knowledge, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take it away from you. You see, the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this kind of knowledge is very aziz. Aziz means it's very dignified, honorable knowledge. So this kind of knowledge, you turn away from it, you ignore it, you don't give it proper attention, it'll walk away from you. It doesn't need you, you need it. So it's like, imagine you're sitting with someone who's very important, then you don't give them your attention. You just turn your face to them. They will walk away from you. Who are you? You are not important. I am important and you are not giving me the attention. So the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala deserves the highest attention. That's why the Prophet ﷺ said that the Quran is pulling away from the one who learns it in a way that's harder than the camel does. And you know, a camel can be very stubborn. You can try to hold and control the camel can pull away, and it's very strong. You cannot control it. So similarly, the Quran, if you don't review it all the time, if you don't spend proper time with the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it will leave. And we have all maybe found that in our own life, and that's a problem. That we memorize some surahs, we don't review them on a regular basis, we come back, we find we've forgotten even part of it, or we have some difficulty to recite it and so on. So this is to show us that the knowledge that we want to seek is knowledge that requires commitment, dedication, time and attention, the way that we would give for any other science, plus much more. So think about how much we are willing to dedicate for all of our studies that we are doing in the bachelor's and master's and PhD. We will stay up during the night, we will spend the weekends, our friends will come to us and say, let's go and do this. You will say, no, 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 I have to study, I have exams, I have this. So what about the religion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? And the religion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and knowledge of it is something very, very crucial that qualifies a person to do certain things. You see, the problem is we would never come to somebody who has studied engineering and say, you know, brother, I'm feeling sick. Can you please do a medical checkup for me? Maybe you can do surgery for me. Oh, my tooth is hurting me. Can you help me with this? And he studied engineering. Or I wouldn't come to the doctor and say, can you help us to build this building and so on. No. There are people that are specialized. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, فَاسْأَلُوا أَهْلَ الذِّكْرِ إِن كُنْتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. If you don't know, then ask the people of knowledge, the people of remembrance. So there are people that are specialized in this. And if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chooses us to be from them, this is a great honor and a great virtue.